I'm June Kenny. This is my husband Scott. And this wonderful lady made a beautiful sign for friends of ours. So we're here to see what she can do for us. And we're thinking about a piece of wood.
Now, we would do it with the name straight across?
I think that would be fine.
Yeah.
So you want June and Scott or Scott and June?
It doesn't matter.
Depends which one of us you ask.
It doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter to me.
Okay. So these two pieces of wood here, he likes either of these. I think June's on page. These are ambrosia maple.
Thinner. You know, to attach it to the fence,
Yeah.
I think that would be easier.
Okay.
Now, will you drill a hole through this so that we could...
No. What I would do is have you drill through the post from the back end so it doesn't mar your sign.
Okay.
We have somebody who can do this for
Okay,
us.
great. Okay, we also looked at these two pieces. These are both maple. One has aged a little bit longer than the other, but this is basically how it'll look. It's a light wood maple. We also looked at, I have a piece of cherry back here, if you're interested in cherry.
I like the lighter because it'll show up better.
Yeah.
Okay, all right, sounds good. So I start out with pencil drawing, a rough idea, and one says Private Drive and the other one says June and Scott Kenny. And I'll balance these out better, but it's just a simple line drawing, and I'll make it darker and sand them before I do this. I just did this for them to look at and approve. Then I sand this all down and I smooth it and kind of sand down a little bit of the back, and then I seal it, but I'll show you that when I get to it. So I used a 1/4-inch bit, and I came down on one side and then went up the other. And I'll just do some fine tuning in here, probably with a chisel, but I think it looks pretty decent. What I'm going to do next is use this angle grinder. I'll probably get a new sanding disc because this one's beat and I don't want to chew this up. But it's for June and Scott Kenny. And then I made this other one here for another home. So that's what I'm about to do now, sand. So I'm going to take this 80 grit off of here and I'm going to put this on. This is a 220, but this, I don't want to dig, and I definitely don't want to dig where I've just carved into any of these signs here that I've made. So I'm going to put this 220 on and see how it works, and my mask. Masks are important. And because this has an irregular or rounded piece, I have these two pieces that I cut straight edges off of, two of them, and I'm going to position the board in between the two so it doesn't rock. Well, so it doesn't rock much. We'll see how that goes. So I got my mask on. Sorry if you can't hear me too perfectly, but that 220 is doing a beautiful job. It's not digging in. It's not digging in past the carving, so that's perfect. So what I'm going to do next is just try and sand off some of these edges. I will flip it over and just lightly do a sand on this. If it's not aggressive enough, I will go back to that 80. I have more of those, but I've got this done, and you can really see the box elder character, which is, I think, beautiful. And I like leaving some of the natural. So what will come next is I'll just fine tune some things, but I'll like cut like that, smooth that out. I'll do that with a chisel and a hammer and just make it look as good as I can. It's all hand done, so it is what it is. So because of these little edges, when I'm sanding, it picks up the sandpaper and tears it. So this inside stuff is still good. I could probably use it for something else, but it's a tad challenging, but you just have to put new sandpaper on several times and to make it work. So I added a coat of Hellsman Spar varnish. It's for exterior. Here's the other one I did. But I'm going to come back and I will paint the letters black with an oil-based paint, let that dry, and then put another coat of Hellsman Spar varnish on it. So it should last a long time. So I've painted inside all of these letters, and what I do is I start and I paint the edges, and then I fill in the center, and that seems the best way to get the edges done and also not go too far over. Now I got a few little spots, like there's one there where there's paint and there's paint there. The beauty of using the urethane, there's paint there. There's beauty of using the Hellsman Spar varnish is I can easily take that off. So that's what I'll do once it's dry solid. Here's the other one I did. It says Peaceful Stay, and it's on a piece of pine. So, and it's a slice off of, kind of looks like that, a slice off the the bottom part of a tree. So you can see this dark area here. It's heartwood, and it is the crown. It's called a crown. It's crowning, where it repeats. That's how it grows. And this is the last one. I'm still working on it. Got to get to their name, and I'll show you the final product when I get to that. So after I painted, and then I sanded off the surfaces, I have to clean out the areas where the sawdust accumulated. And I was going to blow it out with an air compressor, but the air compressor is not available, so it's going to have to come out the old-fashioned way, with the brush, but that will work just fine. Once I clean that off, I'll take some of this Hellsman Spar varnish and let me show you that. So it's not in shadow, Hellsman Spar varnish, which is great for outside, and put it on all three of these signs. No hairs from the brush. It's just a chip brush, which I will throw out after I'm done with this job. But the important thing is to look for stray hairs that come off of it. So now I'm going to do this back one here. I like to fill the letters first. It's very important that they hold that black color, but not so they're so full that they puddle up. You don't want the urethane to puddle up. I don't want the urethane to puddle up. So, and all the backs of these have already been urethaned. Okay, so it's done, and what I've done is look at it from an angle to see if there's any hairs, stray hairs, or blobs of urethane on here, and it looks pretty good. There are some things that show up in the background. Now this is a box elder, so it has those beautiful red parts in it right there, which I love, and there's another one right there. This one has the red right under the P and the R and the I, And a little bit of a streaking over there. Kind of has an ambrosia maple look, but it is definitely a box elder. And I think this looks gorgeous, especially in an area like that. There's just so much detail and texture in the wood. Turned out pretty good, so I'm happy with it. And I'm just now going over lightly to get rid of any air bubbles that may be popping up. And they will all dissipate. I don't probably have to do this step, but I kind of like to babysit my work before it's finished, and that's what I'm doing now. So it looks good. I'm happy.